What if Napoleon had not sold Louisiana to the United States? How would historical events have unfolded under such circumstances? Could the United States have become a French colony? Would Napoleon have been able to hold on to this distant land, especially with the mighty British Navy ruling the seas? You'll find the answers to these questions throughout the video, as we aim to present history from a different perspective. We'll explore how history might have taken an alternative course if key historical figures had made different decisions. In 1803, the fate of a continent hung in the balance. Napoleon Bonaparte, the brilliant and audacious Emperor of France, faced a choice that would echo through history. Deep in debt from his relentless wars and desperate to fund his ambitions, he made a shocking decision. He sold the vast Louisiana territory, over 800,000 square miles of untamed land, to the United States for a mere $15 million. Overnight, America doubled in size, setting the stage for its rise as a global power. But what if Napoleon, the master strategist, had played a different card? What if, instead of selling Louisiana, he had clung to it, defying the odds and betting on a French empire in the New World? Ever wondered how different historical events could have unfolded and what the world might look like today because of those alternative events? Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on fascinating new videos exploring alternative history. Write in the comments your vision of this alternative history, as well as offer your options for other events that we will definitely consider. Imagine a world where Napoleon Bonaparte, the ambitious Corsican who reshaped Europe, makes a daring choice in 1803. He keeps Louisiana, rejecting America's offer to buy it. Historically, he sold this vast territory, stretching from the Gulf of Mexico to the Canadian frontier, to fund his wars and keep it from British hands. But what if he'd held firm? The decision would have unleashed a cascade of events, reshaping nations, alliances, and the destiny of North America. Let's unravel this alternate scenario and see where it leads. The United States, a nation stymied. Start with the United States, a fledgling republic with grand ambitions. The Louisiana Purchase doubled its size, opening the West to settlers and cementing its path to power. Without it, America's growth hits a brick wall. Confined to the eastern seaboard, its western border becomes a French fortress, not a frontier. President Thomas Jefferson, who saw the Mississippi River as America's lifeline, faces a crisis. Does he push for war against France, risking a fight with a former ally? Or does he seek diplomacy, perhaps trading concessions for river access? Either way, the United States is weaker, its manifest destiny delayed or derailed. Tensions could flare into skirmishes along the border, with American pioneers clashing with French garrisons, a powder keg waiting to ignite. France's gamble, power across the Atlantic. Now shift to Napoleon. Keeping Louisiana is a bold move, but it's fraught with challenges. His genius lay in land campaigns, not colonial management. France's navy, outmatched by Britain's, struggles to supply a territory thousands of miles away. British warships could choke Louisiana's ports, cutting off troops and trade. Yet Napoleon was a master strategist. He might seek allies to secure his prize. Could he tempt Spain, which still held lands west of Louisiana, into a pact to counter Britain? Or might he arm Native American tribes, the Choctaw, Osage, or Sioux, promising them protection from American settlers in exchange for loyalty? Such alliances could turn Louisiana into a battleground, with French officers leading indigenous warriors against encroaching foes. Britain in the balance of power. Britain, Napoleon's nemesis, looms large. The Royal Navy's dominance makes Louisiana a tempting target. A blockade could strangle the colony, forcing France to pour resources into a naval buildup. An arms race Napoleon could ill afford. Alternatively, Britain might stir unrest, backing American ambitions or even plotting to seize Louisiana itself. The stakes rise in North America, intertwining with the Napoleonic Wars in Europe. A French foothold across the Atlantic could shift the global balance, but it's a fragile one. The land and its people. Louisiana itself is a wild card, rich in resources, timber, farmland, and the Mississippi's trade route. It's a prize worth fighting for, but it's also vast and unruly, far from France's reach. Colonizing it would demand settlers, forts, and a bureaucracy Napoleon might struggle to sustain. For Native American tribes, the outcome shifts too. American expansion displaced them historically. French rule might offer a different fate, perhaps partnerships or new conflicts, depending on Napoleon's approach. New Orleans could bloom as a French jewel, its culture blending European and indigenous threads into something unique. Long-term echoes zoom out to the bigger picture. If France holds Louisiana, North America transforms. The United States, hemmed in, might focus north toward Canada or south into Mexico, altering wars like 1812 or the Mexican-American push. A French Louisiana could spawn a French-speaking enclave, reshaping the continent's cultural map. Or it might collapse, lost to rebellion, British conquest, or American infiltration. The cost of defending it could even weaken Napoleon's European campaigns, hastening his downfall. A fragile pivot. This alternate scenario hinges on Napoleon's will and the world's response. Could he defy the odds, turning Louisiana into a lasting French bastion? Or would it become his albatross, draining his empire until it crumbles? It's a tale of ambition, risk, and the unpredictable tides of history, one that leaves us wondering how close we came to a very different world. Imagine a modern America where French is spoken across the heartland, or where colonial borders, drawn in the 19th century, still spark conflicts over land, resources, or identity. Picture a world where the United States never became a superpower, or where European powers still jockey for control in the Western Hemisphere. These echoes feel eerily familiar, don't they? Today's geopolitical tensions over trade routes, territorial claims, or cultural divides often trace back to choices made centuries ago. History, as we see, is a fragile web, where one thread pulled differently can unravel the whole tapestry. And that's the haunting beauty of this what if. Napoleon's decision could have left ripples we'd still feel today, reminding us that the world we know rests on the edge of countless possibilities. It's a stark lesson. History isn't set in stone. It's a house of cards trembling on the choices of a few. So as we close, ask yourself, what other turning points might have tipped the scales? What other worlds lie just beyond the path we took? That's the question that lingers, inviting us to wonder and to keep exploring.